Hi, I'm AJ Johnson, and I completely support ending violence against women, the HBCU Project. I think we have to move forward to a place where we properly identify what love is. For me, I grew up in a two-parent household, and what I witnessed is my foundation. My parental relationship is my foundation for relationships that I want. So my dad calling my mom sweetheart, honey, his queen. My dad calling me beautiful princess, beautiful, sweetness, sassy, creative. I mean, you know, every time I came down to breakfast, I was a new, amazing word that made me feel good. So for me, that's how I was raised. And that's where my self-esteem and my self-love started. So to now be called shorty and bitch and, you know, yo, and, you know, that doesn't feel affectionate for me, for my ears and for my soul. We've got to move forward into what makes us feel good, male and female. I think these images have gotten us so used to such a negative energy that we've got to redefine what feels good, what's positive, and again, not settle for anything less than that. And I think once we decide that's what we're going to take and not watch the negative, there'll no longer be negative made. The only reason why these images are projected so often is because we're watching them. We're receiving them. We've got to get to a point where, just like those words, yo shorty, hits my ears because I'm used to being called princess and beautiful by the first man in my life. We've got to get to a point where those images on TV and those words in music no longer feel good or sound good to us. And I think that's where the change starts. You can't make it if nobody's buying it. You can't make it if nobody's watching it. We got to get back to a place where it's no longer entertainment for us, but it's more a negative self-portrayal. My personal motto for relationships and dating, never settle, and trust that you being you is enough. And what I mean by that is, you know, so often I think as smart African-American women that are goal-oriented, that are self-driven, a lot of times motivation through the roof, we have a tendency to water ourselves down trying to have a relationship, as opposed to waiting for that same, if not more, spouse to come along and partner with us. I think so often we don't focus on what it takes for us to be whole before we enter a relationship. And so it makes us settle a lot of times. And I think that's the biggest thing. And maybe that's really the motto, to be your whole and healthy self as you enter the relationship, so that it's not so much that someone else completes the other half of you, but someone else adds to your whole. Well, having had the experience myself, I was not in school, but still, I think once you experience a relationship that has a degree of domestic violence in it, it doesn't matter where you are in your life, it's still, it rocks you to your soul, and it rocks you to the core of your heart. For me, it did anyway, and I'll speak for myself. From the experience, I have to say that one of the things I learned from it is that I've got to take responsibility. I'm getting choked up. I've got to take responsibility for who I am and for how I am and what I bring to the relationship. A relationship cannot allow elements that I don't allow. So if it's an element that I don't like the way I'm being talked to, or physically handled, or emotionally handled, if I don't feel like my good and healthy self, the good and healthy self, the whole self, that I brought into the relationship. If I don't feel like her when I'm in it, it's my responsibility to be honest with myself, to tell myself that, and to not stand for anything less than what I'm giving myself. So, you know, when I'm asked the question, what can we do as African American women to help make African American men allies? I think we have to live up to who we are as women, how we want to be treated as women, and not allow behavior that's less than what we want for ourselves to even exist. In my experience, and I've actually never publicly talked about this, so I want to make sure I say this, because in my domestic violence situation, I got into that situation because I was feeling low on me. And I have to honestly say that. I want to admit that, because that's what I think a lot of women go through. They get down on themselves and start dealing with men that don't treat them with the respect and the love and the honor and the reverence that we deserve. I know that was my situation. And once I realized that's why I was even in it, and that's not who I was, it helped me pull me out of it. So I just kind of want to say that, because I just think so many women feel like they don't have a choice. And I want to say, from my own experience, yes, you do. And choice is within you.